if you like College Football 25, the new video game coming out, we got something for you right now if you want to stick around. So let's move on to our next thing. So again, we were going to talk a little College Football 25 tonight. We're trying to think of some different content and stuff to kind of, hold us over for the last month. Because I'm telling you right now, man, I'm looking at my Xbox every day, and I see that little tile, the game tile for CFB25, and it makes me sad every time. That every time I click it, I can't play it. So we're itching to get there. So I said, let's put together a little list of the top 10 schools to rebuild in the Dynasty mode in College Football 25. Now, Kyle, Pat, I know you all said you've played the game before. Everybody here played Dynasty, man. That's all we wanted to do. You wanted to take
Not
the
this
smallest
game,
school.
but yes. Yeah.
Not this game, but the past games, 14 and 13. We all played Dynasty. We wanted to take the small school to the championship game. That's all we wanted.
Mhm.
So let's look at the top 10 that we put together. I'm going to add this here. Bam.
You should have called this Ty's top 10. Triple T.
Hey, this is our list. Our list. We put this together. So let's go up. How we came up with our rankings. So we kind of took a few things into consideration. We have the conference affiliation. So we wanted to put a little more focus on, G5 schools versus Power 5. Not to say that Power 5 couldn't be on here, but typically you don't want to start your dynasty mode at a Power 5 school. We have the program history, lack of recent and all-time success versus, a history of success, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got recruiting. So pipeline states, access to good players. If you're school in Texas is a huge benefit to you. Pipeline. Like if you remember recruiting back in the day, Texas, Florida, Cali, Georgia, they all had all the players. We're looking at the drip. I want to see cool uniforms, cool helmets. That's what makes college football for me. I love all that. I love the swag, the drip, all that good stuff. Helmets, stadiums. Stadiums is another one I wanted to look at. And then the last part was the overall challenge. How easy or difficult would it be to rebuild the school? So we got some honorable mentions up here. We got IU. The IU is an interesting one to rebuild. Wyoming.
I know it hurt you to put IU up there because you don't like
it. It did because I hate IU. I hate them. But
Ty lives here in Indiana, so he gets to deal with it like I do.
I'm a Hoosier, but
their football fans are not worth mentioning though. They're reversible jacket fans, is what I call them. They're Notre Dame football fans, IU basketball fans.
There you go.
They just flip the jacket, whichever season it is, and that's who they support. So,
look, I put Nebraska on here again. I'm not like big on Power 5, but because Nebraska's been so ass for so long,
it'd be like restoring an old power.
You know what I mean? It'd be cool. It would be cool. And I didn't count this into like building the rankings, but roster, like Nebraska has that 5-star quarterback that's supposed to be like the savior, Dylan or whatever. Like that'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, and they have the support in Nebraska. First off, there's absolutely nothing else to do. But second off, they are very big on football. So if you were pretending in real life, if you were a real life coach that restored Nebraska football, you'd be a freaking hero for life, man.
Right.
Yeah. I used to back in the old versions used to use Florida Atlantic a lot as my rebuild school because of Schnellenberger and stuff. So I liked using that.
Florida Atlantic was an honorable mention for sure. Like I think everyone's done a Florida Atlantic one at least once. Louisiana Monroe is another classic. If you don't see one in this top 10 that you think you should, let me know. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't think about it enough. Let me know what you think. We're going to start off with number 10. And again, I said I didn't want to do Power 5 as much, but we have Vanderbilt at number 10. The reason why I have Vanderbilt in here, look, they've been an SEC doormat for years, man. It's an opportunity to turn them into a power in the SEC, a power nationally. One thing I saw when I was doing the research, it's crazy that Vanderbilt has never had a 10-win season. Never.
Nuts.
The closest they've gotten, if I remember right, was when James Franklin was there. He had them rolling pretty good before he took that.
Jake Cutler had some good years there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have never had a 10-win season, never won the SEC at any point. They have great recruiting pipelines, though. Like Tennessee is a good state to recruit. You recruit the South. You know, if you remember playing the games back in the day, like the conference you were in helped you with recruiting as well. So being in the SEC, that's going to help you, I assume, whenever you make recruiting calls and all that good stuff. They got some decent drip. They got some cool helmets and unis. They have a new stadium. Now, this is one of the biggest things that I put them in. So their stadium, they're working on renovating it. It's not complete yet, I don't think, but they went ahead and sent the assets over to the
that's cool.
They went ahead and sent the assets over to the college football team, and they put in the new stadium. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it would be pretty cool to beat the crap out of Alabama with Vanderbilt. It would be pretty cool. Now, Nick says that you get a 4 out of 10 for your number 10 rating.
Nick, we're 1 in, brother. You got to give me a little more time.
He's already on your ass, man.
Nick,
I had a feeling the Vanderbilt one was not gonna be a well received one because they're P6 or whatever. P.
But it's a harder. I mean,
whatever the hell it is, conference realignment. I don't even know how many P's there are anymore.
A lot of.
It's a hard rebuild, though, man. I mean, they are a doormat, and I'm not. By the sounds of Matt Brown, like it's going to be harder to rebuild teams this year.
Yeah,
right.
So if you're in the SEC competing against all these top-notch schools, and you're going to have to play them every year. To get Vanderbilt up to that next level is going to be hard. I will say,
imagine you're playing number 1 Georgia in the SEC championship and you beat them by like 28 points.
Yeah,
at Vanderbilt. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I do think it's if I was a Vanderbilt fan, it would be so cool to see my stadium that's not even finished yet in the game. That would be nuts, man.
That's one of the biggest reasons why I put them in there. Like that's going to be cool. It's a stadium that hasn't been done yet. It's not finished. It looks cool. Nick, brother, you got to let me cook. I promise. Let's get better. I promise.
Nick won't even let you in the kitchen, much less tends to cook.
Nick,
man. He's on your ass, man.
Let me cook. I promise it gets better. So we got number 9. We have UConn. Now UConn is interesting because I think a lot of us that played the old games, we've done this at least once, but they're currently independent. So when it comes to realignment, like you can throw them in whatever conference you want. It'd be kind of cool to see how they fit in like the AAC, or you build them up enough. Maybe you get them in the ACC. They've also never had a 10-win season ever. And they've been terrible since 2010, which funny enough, I think 2010 is the season they went to like the Fiesta Bowl. That's like the one highlight they have. Not a lot of rich recruiting pipeline states, so it's going to make it tougher. Like you got to recruit the Northeast, and hopefully you can get some guys out of there, but it's going to be tough. Cool helmets, cool drip a little bit. Unis are okay, but ultimately, I think UConn is like one of the tougher jobs probably in the game. I mean, they're definitely one of the tougher jobs in the country.
Well, wasn't UConn like a few years ago thinking about dropping football again, or dropping down to?
Nick's just trolling the shit out of us.
FBS level.
I thought they were right. Well, I thought they were like entertaining going to FCS.
Yeah, but I think it would be also cool with UConn as an independent to maybe even try to stay independent and make your own schedule every year and stuff.
Yes.
Well, and that's where I was when Ty first had UConn on there. I was not impressed with UConn at all, and then I was like, well. Wait, they're independent? Like for some reason in my mind, I thought they went to one of the smaller conferences like the AAC or whatever they are now. But that was a game changer for me, knowing they were independent. I think that makes them really interesting. Also, shout out to Power 10. I see a couple of y'all in here. Just got done talking with Coach Siva about all things Louisville. We'll be sure to check it out, man. We'll check it out after we get done here, but look forward to it.
JV, we appreciate you, brother. I'll definitely check that out for sure. Thanks for coming in, brother. So yeah, we got UConn at number 9. I'm looking forward to Trent or Nick's rankings of every single one. So I'll be just kind of looking over there. We got number 8, Army. Now listen,
I like this one.
You can kind of make this Army/Navy/Air Force, but we're just going to stick to Army. They're a new member of the AAC. Okay, they joined their rival Navy.
I might be biased because I was in the Army, but I like it.
That'd be a good one for you, yeah, for sure.
Right. Like they have rich tradition, obviously. They got a lot of football tradition. You can kind of add on to that legacy. The Army versus Navy game is a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's like I watch it every year. I have to.
Only game that week,
Yep. Recruiting, good luck, man. Good luck. It's going to be hard to recruit the Army. I ain't going to lie.
Hey, join Army as a 5-star, and you'll get to travel to some very interesting places.
Right.
So just consider it. Think about it. 5-star.
Try to convince your 5-star running back commit. You're trying to get a 5-star running back to commit to Army would be pretty intriguing. But anyways, elite drip, man. Army has probably the best drip.
Their uniforms are awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
Stay tuned, JV.
It's so good. All right, Nick, I like the ranking. It's going up. Okay, so here's my last point about Army. We've all played the old games. In 2014, you know how in Dynasty, the academy schools always would be like top 10, top 15 all the time because the computer just couldn't figure out how to defend the triple option.
Right.
Try to run the triple option when you play your Army Dynasty. Let's see how difficult it is. It could be really hard. It could not be. Try to find a 4-star running back that just doesn't have any good offers, and you get him in Army. See what happens. So,
very true.
Army strong.
Army strong. Nick says 9.5 out of 10. We're getting better. We were 4 out of 10, so we're doing good. All right, number 7, New Mexico State. Everybody's done a New Mexico State Dynasty. It's one of the tougher ones. They're always like easily the worst team in the game almost every time. They just recently joined Conference USA. I'm going to say right now there's a lot of Conference USA teams on this list because I think there are going to be a lot of teams that are like 1-star. But they won 10 games last year for the first time since the 60s. So can you keep the momentum going? Are you going to fail? We'll see. You're going to have to recruit California. What is he saying? Oh, my God.
2 out of 10.
Nick, the logo is nice. Okay. All right, man. Anyways, you're going to have to recruit California to make New Mexico State a good one. The drip, the unis, the helmets, they're kind of whatever. I looked at the helmets. That was kind of the coolest one I could find, but and the stadium is very small. So that matters when it comes to the playing experience. Like, they have that stadium pulse thing. So if you're playing at New Mexico State, your stadium pulse is going to be like down, but
you're going to be dead.
Yeah. You're going to have all
cardiac
6 fans,
arrest, man.
All 6 fans in the stands are going to be going wild, but it should be a decent challenge to get New Mexico State into a national power, especially if it's like how Matt says, where it's going to be a lot tougher.
You'll have to keep the crash cart by to do CPR and bring the pulse back in that stadium.
If you throw a couple picks, you might have to do that for sure. Yeah. All right, we're moving on to UTEP. Nick, save it for the end. Let me present it, okay? Let me cook, okay? We got UTEP, another CUSA team. It's going to be tough to make a playoff in the CUSA, I think. Let's just be honest. 3 winning seasons in the last 20 years. It's like UTEP's got to be one of the toughest jobs in the country for sure. But here's the main thing with UTEP. Texas recruiting.
Texas is big.
You're going to have access to so many players in Texas. And I don't know about you guys, but these are their newest uniforms. I think they're kind of swag, no? They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wish Deuce Adams was like for 2025. I'd be going after him if I had UTEP.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's a Texas guy.
So you brought up something there, Ty, that I kind of wish I would have asked last week when we had Matt. But like you said, a Conference USA team is going to be hard to make the playoffs. And that got me thinking, I remember in the old games, like you could start off with one of these lower level teams and you would get invites to bigger conferences.
Yeah.
Now I know in this game you can do your own like manual conference movement, but I wonder if you're going to be able to get invites, like if the computer will invite you to another conference.
That would be intriguing for sure.
Nick, because like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, Nick liked that one. We're kind of cooking. Nick, I promise it gets even better than this.
$50K.
Wait till you see number one.
For UTEP.
Yeah, the Sun Bowl, that's kind of cool. Like you talk about stadium pulse, you said $50K, like that could be cool. Might get the crowd up a little bit.
Yeah, I dig it.
But yeah, UTEP's on here because look, it's not easy to win at UTEP. I think it'd be a good challenge. The one thing you do have going for you though is Texas recruiting. So let's move on to number 5, Akron. Another one that everybody has done at least once. Everybody here has done an Akron Dynasty. Don't lie if you haven't. We got the Maction for the first time. We got a back school on here. They've won 7 games since 2019. Think about that. Think about that.
That would be fun.
That is
like
not good.
It's an absolute doormat of a school.
Like, look, New Mexico State and Akron, they're going to be fighting for probably the worst team in the game. Let's just be honest.
Ohio is a good recruiting ground.
Yes, Ohio. You're going to have to recruit the Rust Belt in Ohio to really build them up. Simple looking unis and all that, but someone got to answer. What the hell is a zip? What is a zip?
Pittsburgh uniform.
That is a good question because I have no idea. What is their mascot? Do we know?
It's like a kangaroo looking type thing.
Difficulty level equals good luck. I like that.
I think Nick's thinking long and hard about what to rank this one. He hasn't said anything yet. Difficulty level, good luck, man. This is going to be a tough one for sure. It's going to be tough. But hey, listen, we've all done an Akron Dynasty at least once. 8.5. Okay. I like it. Let's move on to number 4. Now, this is where it gets really cool. So, Sam Houston, they were not featured in NCAA 2014. They're one of the newer teams to the game. And again, another CUSA team. They had some success on the FCS level. Their last season was their first year in FBS. They went 3-9. So
that's what makes it interesting.
You're kind of building it from the ground up.
Imagine if it took you 2 years or 3 years to win a national championship with Sam Houston. It'd be like their 4th year in FBS. Right. That would be cool. That's a cool storyline.
Right.
It is.
So yeah, you're building it from the ground up. You got, again, Texas recruiting. Sam Houston's in Texas, so you got a rich recruiting grounds there. I'm not gonna lie, like when I was looking through their helmets and stuff, it was kind of mid. If you like orange and white and all that good stuff, it's a little
kind of look like Clemson.
Yeah.
Like a not as good Clemson. You know what I mean?
Like Clemson without the religious strictness.
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe.
I don't know. They might actually be.
Maybe Sam Houston's.
I really don't know anything about Sam Houston.
I feel like Sam Houston is like one of those religious schools.
I think it is.
Yeah, but Dabo is.
You can't
match
Dabo.
his over the top. I'm not going to go there. Go ahead.
Look, you can make your coach like Dabo. You know what I mean? Like you could be Dabo Sweeney Jr.
I prefer not to. No.
There you go. You got your work cut out for you here at Sam Houston. But, like I said, being in Texas, that's going to help you recruit. You're going to be able to bring them back pretty quickly. So Nick says 7.5 out of 10. You don't like that one as much?
Okay. I like Sam Houston. This one's my favorite.
Jacksonville State.
Uh-oh.
Jacksonville State. Again, another new team to the game. They weren't in NCAA 2014. And again, it's another CUSA team. That's kind of the theme of this. A lot of these teams are in CUSA. It's probably going to be one of the worst conferences. They went 9-4 in their first and only FBS season last year. That's pretty impressive. They made a bowl game, I think. You can recruit the South because I'm pretty sure Jacksonville State's in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. So you're in the South. You can go recruit a lot of the South states.
Isn't that where Colin Lacey was from?
No, he was from
Georgia,
South Alabama.
South Alabama. You're right. Never mind.
Alabama, which was close to making this list, to be honest. I should have put him in honorable mention.
Never mind. I'll stand good. Do their uniforms look like that? Why did I think that?
South Alabama is kind of like red, white, and blue.
Okay.
They should. You know
I don't
what?
know why I thought he went there. Never mind.
I should have put them at 10. I should have put them at 10. Anyway, so let's go back to Jacksonville State. So again, you're in the South, recruit the South. Simple uniforms and stuff, but I like the red. Like it looks really good, goes well together. Their stadium is kind of cool looking. Honestly, it's small, but it's kind of cool. It could be rough early, but their potential is really high with good recruiting at Jacksonville State. Nick says this is a 10 out of 10, checks all the boxes.
Wow. Yeah, Nick really likes it. Pat really likes it.
I like it. It's my favorite.
Pat, why is your favorite?
Well, I mean, just because they've had some success. The South, recruiting in the South is big. And I feel like now this wouldn't be the most challenging. So I think this is one of the easier ones of the ones in here to rebuild. But I feel like their roster probably is set up initially pretty good too.
Yeah, probably. I didn't put roster into considering all this, but I probably should have. But I would have been doing this for 3 weeks. Analyzing rosters.
Good luck figuring out Sam Houston State's roster and scouting.
Right. Like I like it would have been we would have been here forever. But yeah, let's move on to Hawaii. Now this is my personal favorite.
There you go, JV, if you're still in here. Hawaii made the list.
So Hawaii is my number 2. Mountain West Conference, okay. Hawaii used to be back in the day, at least whenever I was a kid, they were like top of up there with Boise State and all the good stuff. They got a lot of success in history, but it's been hard times over there in Hawaii recently, man. They haven't won shit in years, to be honest. It's tough to lean on the in-state recruiting. Like you're not going to get many Hawaii kids, but you're going to have California, so that should help you a little bit. I think they might have the best drip in the game, man. I don't know what it is, but that Hawaii Island helmet
is pretty cool.
It's just cool. Dope to me. I don't know what it is. It's just dope. Now, here's one thing that I thought was kind of cool. Maybe it's not, but the stadium, you know how they used to play in the old Aloha Stadium, whatever? Well, come to find out, that's not a thing anymore. So they've put this little, like I think it was their track and field stadium, and they've put bleachers and things in. It's actually like the smallest stadium in the country. It holds like 12,000 people.
Man.
Yeah. So like maybe that's cool, maybe not in game. I don't know how it'll look visually. We'll see. It's a thought. And then like I said, Hawaii is definitely one of the tougher jobs. Like, restoring them is going to be really, really hard. Really hard. But it could be cool.
That's another thing. Like, I doubt this is in the game, but it would be cool if, like, over time, like at a school like Hawaii, like if you got better, you could expand your stadium and renovate it and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Maybe a suggestion for next year's game, because I doubt it's in this year's game. But I think the one thing, too, is like Hawaii gets a lot of like Polynesian players, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I doubt like the recruiting in the game like identifies like, oh yeah, this is a Polynesian player and stuff like that. But
sorry.
Nick's killing me tonight. He's actually here for a full episode.
Yeah, well, hurricane relief. There is no hurricane right now, so I don't know what we'd be relieving. But when there is a hurricane, we will talk about hurricane relief, maybe. But yeah, I wonder like if there's a way to like, if like Polynesia is like a state or a locality that you can recruit, and that's like a Hawaiian hotbed.
Yeah. I think recruiting would be probably tough there. Like we said, Hawaii's not going to have a lot of players, but
before NIL, I always wonder why the hell more kids didn't go to Hawaii. Like
that's a great question. That is a great question.
NIL makes more sense now. Like if somebody, I could get $750,000 to play here, or I could get $50,000 to play Hawaii, or whatever they pay. They probably don't pay very much. But before that, I never understood. That would be, if I was an elite high school player, Hawaii would be towards the very top of my list. But
right, like that's your NIL. It's Hawaii, dude. Like
it'd be a fun school to get back.
You get to live in Hawaii. Like that would be awesome.
It'd be a fun school to play on here for sure, for all the reasons you mentioned, especially the drip.
Yes, and was it JV? JV said my final point: the run and shoot playbook.
Yeah,
like like Colt Brennan style run and shoot. That's what I'm going to do whenever I play with Hawaii. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, get ready, because this one you haven't thought about it, I know, and this is the best one of the list. Kennesaw State.
Uh-oh.
Now let me tell you why Kennesaw State is the #1 team to rebuild in college.
I like
25. They are the new kids on the block. This is their first season in FBS football. Think about that. You are going to be able to write all of Kennesaw State's history from the chapter 1.
That's the selling point.
That right there is the reason why they are number 1. Possibly the best recruiting situation out of all the schools, because you're in Georgia. You can go hit all of those all the South states
Georgia,
like
Florida,
Georgia, Florida, Louisiana. You're going to be able to hit them all.
Yep.
They got some pretty cool looking uniforms. They got some black in there, some like a goldish yellow color. They got some cool stuff. They're the Owls, bro. Like, who doesn't like owls? Nick, do you like owls? Because I like owls. And the possibilities are endless, dude. The possibilities are endless. Definitely a challenge. Okay, but hey, look, being the newest team in FBS, that's so cool.
Just imagine if it took you 3 years. I don't know. Apparently, it's really hard. According to Matt Brown last week, it's really hard to get a smaller school to just dominate Dynasty. But I mean, everybody says that. We'll see. But imagine, if you're really good at the game, 2 or 3 years from then winning a national championship or even making a college football playoff. So you literally go from like, oh, hey, that'd be the biggest. You'd be like the greatest coach ever. It doesn't matter what Nick Saban did. It doesn't matter. Nick Saban won 7 national championships. Who cares? You took a school from the grave and in 2 or 3 years won a national championship. You're the best coach of all time, hypothetically, if that happened in real life. So that's a cool storyline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think there wasn't really an opportunity to do much of this in the old NCAA games. There wasn't many first-year teams back then,
Right.
So yeah, I think you hit it on the nail with the number 1 here. This would be the most fun. Write your own history. Start from scratch. Yeah, no, this is one that I think I'm going to do at some point.